All right.
Okay.
Let's do
Yeah.
So how are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Been settling in, but it's been, I'm okay.
Is this your first time living in the UK?
Yes, it is. I mean, I think it's the first time I've ever been away for a long period of time this much
From home?
from home. Yeah.
Where's home for you?
I live, I was born and raised in Indonesia.
Okay.
That's my home. That's my neighborhood.
That's the hood.
That's the hood for me.
How do you miss it right now?
You know, it's kind of like an on and off thing. 1 second when I feel like I'm experiencing all these great things, I don't miss home. But
Yeah.
when like I'm alone in my room, sometimes I'm like, oh dang,
I
this
miss
is
home.
this is not home. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
there's
it's
some constant reminders like that.
yeah,
What's your
exactly.
favorite thing? What reminds like your favorite thing about home?
My favorite thing would probably be my family. I think the people at home makes
Mm,
it home. You
I
know what
hear
I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if they're here with me, I think I would feel a bit better.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I think they make it home. They make it
Yeah.
home.
I think for me it would be the weather.
Oh
It's
my
always
god,
hot back home.
that's true. Mine too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never a struggle to like check the weather app. We don't do that. We
We
already
do we literally don't be checking the weather
to
app.
say we know what it's gonna be like.
It's
Hot.
gonna be hot every day.
It's exactly
Yeah.
yeah
There may be some cold mornings, but that's just it.
exactly. Here's like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes ago it was like sunny, and then suddenly it's raining, cloudy.
There was literally no sun today.
No, yeah,
It was terrible.
terrible.
Okay, so the first thing I want to ask you properly is we go to class together. We're actually in the same course. And when we did our introduction, when Vish made us introduce ourselves and gave us stickers,
All right.
she
Yeah.
gave us stickers. She told us to pick a sticker that we identify with the most. And you picked a ladybug.
Yeah, I did.
Why did you pick a ladybug?
First of all, I think it's just from like the visual aspect. I think ladybug is one of the most like pretty bugs out there.
Yeah.
I feel like they're wearing this stylish coats like with the polka dots and stuff, and I think it's striking. But I love ladybugs because they're the only insect with the word lady on it, and I think it's really cool. It represents how, you know, living in the world in a male dominated um sector,
Yeah.
not even sector, like everywhere, it's just I feel like it's still male dominated. Unfortunately, it's getting better, but it's not quite there yet. But I just love having lady attached to me.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm proud of being like
A woman.
a woman. Like
I hear that.
the world should know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're into animation.
Yeah, I studied animation for my undergrad.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was hoping after I study here, I kind of want to make my own little studio. I'm really into short animated movies, and I
Okay.
really hope that I could do that. But I feel like there's this kind of fear of, it's so ambitious. So I was thinking of making my own agency first, because agency is more,
Lucrative.
lucrative, money in, money out.
I hear that.
Yeah.
What drew you to animation?
Um, I feel like animation is like the first accessible thing as a kid.
Okay.
When your parents aren't around, when nobody is teaching you things, you watch these animations. At least for me, it
Yeah.
meant a lot to me to just spend time to watch cartoons and animations. I always had a soft spot for it. And in a way, it is kind of like they kind of teach you things subconsciously.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I remember I used to be super into Courage the Cowardly Dog, if you know it.
Ooh, I love that one.
I know, it was so creepy.
People do say it's creepy though.
It's
And I
creepy.
hear that.
But I loved it, and I think it kind of shapes me into a person that loves that kind of like horror, creepy things. Like it kind of like builds me as a person.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like it's such an it's something that people overlook. Like, because when kids watch these things, it's the first thing that they remember, and it can create a lasting impression on them.
Yeah.
And I think because most of the times I'm always like, I don't really spend, when I was younger, my mom and dad, they work so hard. We don't really spend time together. Animation is like my comfort.
Yeah. So that's your like core memory.
Yeah, my core memory is just watching all
lot
these
of
shows.
cartoons.
Yeah, and I grew up in the internet. That's where I learned English mostly from.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like that's how I raised myself, through animations and like
There's that
media.
connection there.
Yeah, exactly.
When did you ever pick up a pen, and when was the first time you picked up that pen and decided to go for it?
Um, I have an older sister.
Okay.
We're pretty close. She was always an artistic person, and I think you know, as a little sister, you kind of look up to your older sister
Yeah.
just by default.
Yeah.
So I kind of copied what she did, and turns out I actually really love it too. So I think it was like ever since when I was like 5, 6, and also my mom and dad never really yell at us if we draw on the wall.
Okay.
They let us be, and I think part of it is that the fact that they kind of allow us to just explore things.
Yeah.
And you know, just be kids. I think it's so important. And I loved, but the moment I realized I want to do this seriously is
Yeah.
when I was in like high school. Like,
Yeah.
it's so long. It takes a long time to, you know, confirm to yourself that, oh my god, this is actually something I can do for a living.
Yeah.
Because you never think like art is something that you can actually pursue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sad that it's that way. I should have realized it sooner. And
Yeah.
I think things would be a lot better for me. But yeah, so pretty young.
Was there this banter with your parents? Was there a thing about you need to do something? What is animation for
Oh
a
my
degree?
god.
Was there something
Yeah,
like that?
definitely.
tell
Especially,
me.
I don't know if it's like specifically for my family or like if it's an Asian family thing. But yeah, definitely my parents expect me to be something more like conventional, like a doctor, an engineer even. And that's why when I was in high school, so in Indonesia, you can pick either social sciences or science, natural sciences. And
Yeah.
I picked natural sciences because I thought that's what I wanted to do
Yeah.
for the longest time.
Yeah.
And I also tried to ace my classes and things like that. No problem at all. But then as you grow older, you kind of piece it together that, oh my god, what am I doing here? You know, like when you study, like you can pass the tests, no problem. But like when you think of your future and what you're gonna do, I can't see myself working as a scientist when there is this wonderful world of like art. Like I can't let that go.
Yeah.
So definitely there's this like in Indonesia we have this like big test that we do that determines where we go for the uni.
Okay.
Like you have 3 options basically. And like I remember not putting a single art major on the options.
They're all sciences.
They're all sciences. It was like biomed, dentistry, things like that. And like I remembered filling it up with my mom. Okay. And then so there's that so there's that exam. But also at the same time you can apply to like private universities
Yeah.
for backups. And that's what I did. But then that's where I decided, you know what, I want to take animation because it's just a backup anyway. You know what? I didn't think I was actually gonna
Follow
go
it
through with it.
through.
Yeah, but like because it's a backup, okay. And then I didn't get in. I didn't get in
No.
for the like the sciencey stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Were you relieved?
that's the thing. I was low key. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I didn't get in, but I'm like, it makes sense because I never really wanted it.
Yeah.
But yeah, but there was a big banter about it because oh my god, that was like your only shot on getting a public university and getting into public university because it's such a big deal in my country to be accepted in a public university. Yeah.
So you went to private.
I went private.
Okay.
And
That's kind of opposite for us back home. It's more like people prefer, if they can afford to, would prefer to actually go to private universities.
Okay. Yeah. Because like usually like the Ivy Leagues are the public ones.
Okay, I hear that.
Yeah, in my country it's
Like
that
here.
way. Yeah, exactly. There's a bunch of competitive people. I just feel like there are a lot of ambitious people in like engineering, in social science, in biomed.
Yeah.
And I feel like they deserve it more than I am because I'm half-assed about it. Like I low-key don't really want
to be here.
Yeah, so when I didn't get it, I was like, it makes sense.
That slot will go to someone who actually wants to go
Exactly,
there.
yes.
Okay, I hear that.
But like when I didn't get it, it was oh my god, there was a huge fight in my home because I don't know, I think it was never in my mom's head that I would actually pursue like animation, art, design, things like this. And in retrospect, I don't really blame her because she wants the best for me, and what she knew was these types of jobs would give me better pay.
It's more lenient.
Yeah, exactly. So she was just worried. She just didn't know it's uncharted territory for her, and I tried to explain it to her over time.
Yeah, and she's not wrong as well, because I
Yeah.
think for the 1,000 word essay we had to write, there was this article, I think, was it for the literature review or was it for the 500 word one, where the article was talking about how um there's just no security.
Exactly. There's precarity in
Yeah,
art,
yeah,
definitely. But I feel like my mom had always known that I have this affinity with technology,
yeah,
computer
yeah.
stuff. I like gaming. I like, animation is like 50% technical, 50% art, and like it's literally perfect for me if they think about it.
Yeah.
But it just, from a working class perspective, because they're like employees.
You have to make money, you need to get
Exactly,
your house, all
because
that
that's
stuff.
exactly how they provided for me,
Yeah.
and they want the best for me, and I totally understand that. So I'm not upset that it happened. The fact that there was a huge fight, I think it's just necessary. I think it's part of our responsibility to kind of show them that I can be responsible with my choices, and I think
Yeah.
having that conversation
It's
is
your
important.
space to prove them wrong
Exactly,
to
yeah,
a certain degree.
because yeah, because at the end of the day, you cannot go back to them when things go wrong. It all comes back to you, honey. Like,
But we advised you earlier. We told you, which is
yeah,
a very scary. I hate that I told you so. I hate that I told you so.
Yeah.
Kind of. I hate that sentence so much.
yes.
Okay, so when you graduated,
Mhm.
what was the conversation like after you had actually gone through with animation in university?
Well, the funny thing is, throughout my academic life in undergrad, when
Yeah.
I did animation, I had good scores. I had like good everything,
Yeah.
and they see me and what I do, and it's just there's not a lot of conversation going on. It's just me showing them that oh my god, I really love this thing.
Yeah.
They see me work hard. They just get it, you know. It was gradual, but it's possible. You can convince them. You can convince anyone that you
Yeah.
are capable of doing certain things. Just show them. It gets uncomfortable at first, but I feel like
Eventually.
so it's like I'm so glad that I stick through what I wanted
Yeah.
and not.
You're happy.
Yeah, I'm happy now, and
Yeah.
it's like I can't imagine if I'm stuck on some biomed major, whatever. I might be able to go through with it, but it's just
To you to be jarring.
Yeah, right now it's like, and also part of why I want animation is because I feel like that's where the future is going anyway.
Okay.
Like design, things like this, they are getting recognized really fast.
Yeah.
And companies are starting to care about how they present things. They don't just stick an advertisement on the station anymore. We have creative campaigns, like
There are more rooms now. There are more spaces.
Exactly, and like
in the job
jobs
sector.
jobs like 3D designers, 3D artists, they're constantly on demand,
Yeah.
and there's not a lot of people that can do it yet. And I think it's good to like kind of predict what's going to happen 10 years from now instead of relying on today's information of like what it should be to have a good job. Because like
Yeah.
my mom is like, she's a banker, my dad is also a banker, and she
Okay.
wants me to work in a bank. And I'm like,
A
"Hell,
bank?
no, no,
No.
no,
No.
exactly."
Okay, so
It's so
after
funny.
you graduated, you took some time before your master's.
Yes, exactly.
What were you doing?
So I graduated during COVID.
Ooh.
I know it was so
2020.
hard. 2020. I'm class of 2020.
Oh damn.
At least Beyonce made a video for us. Yeah,
You deserve that.
I deserve that. I was like, when I saw it, thank you so much. It means a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucked because I feel like I always care about these things like graduation, having like achievements celebrated. It was like I love these stuff, I want to celebrate it.
You want to wear your throw the cap, take photos with friends.
Exactly, and it was robbed. We were robbed from that experience, but yeah, it was kind of depressing, to be honest. So after I graduated, there's a long while till I actually figure out what I want to do, because like applying for jobs was really scary.
Yeah.
It was so scary. There's a period of time where I was like, oh my god, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, because I just graduated, and there's this gap of what they teach you in class and what the industry needs. And I feel like I have that like missing piece that I
Yeah.
don't have, because like obviously I don't have experience yet, so everything seems so scary. So I did freelance for like a year or two, and then I realized, oh, this is very precarious. it's so scary.
Yeah, it's not straightforward.
I know. I love freelancing, but it's just
Yeah,
I
it's not
want.
stable.
It's not stable
I
at
think the
all.
biggest thing is that we know it, but like we know as like media creative people, we know what it is going into this kind of spaces.
Mm.
But actually being in those spaces, like the realization that like, oh, it's actually this tough.
Yeah,
I think there's a
exactly.
whole difference between knowing and actually experiencing.
Exactly.
So what was that
Yes.
experience when you were like, oh,
Okay. Mm.
yeah, let me know.
Um. The funny thing is, I don't know. I don't think this. I feel like I grew up in a quite privileged,
Okay,
family, like
environment.
environment. So the thought of like I'm gonna fail, I would have nothing, was never in my head. It was more about I need to make a name out of myself. I need to create something.
For yourself.
Like if I don't create, I'm a failure because I already have what I need.
Yeah.
It's like that pressure is. It's a different mentality because if I were to think about what to have for dinner, maybe I would have made different choices. I would
Okay.
have just applied in a bank job. To be fair, if I was really, if I really didn't know what to do, because
Yeah.
like I have bills to pay and things like that, and unfortunately, I didn't have that in my mind. So it was more of like trying to find my voice as an artist.
Yeah.
Because there's this thing about being an artist where you have to find your voice, your style, what makes you you, what makes people book you,
Yeah.
why would people pay you, things like that. And it was really hard for me because I'm the type of person that was always taught to conform to like rules. That's why I did well in school because they gave you briefs, deadlines, this like set parameters, and once they send me into the real world and like, look, you can do anything, I get lost.
I hear that. You're so used to structure.
Yeah,
You're used
exactly.
I spoke about this one time in one video I made. Literally, as we've been going to school for what, almost 20 years plus, and you literally have been told, wake up this time, go to school this time,
Yep.
have your essay submitted by this time. Then you're done with that, and they tell you, yeah, do whatever you want.
You just freeze, girl.
Huh? It's so confusing.
It is. And then like there's the consequences in all your choices, right? So if
Yeah.
I like whatever I do now, it's gonna dictate how it turns out later. Like it's not like when you're in school, you think of, oh yeah, I'm gonna be an animator. You don't think of the small actions you take to get there. You just do what you do now, and then yeah, eventually I'll be there.
Yeah.
But when you're actually graduated, everything you do now literally influences.
It counts.
It counts.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it was so daunting. Freshly graduated from an art major is so scary.
Yeah.
So scary. And I've had like an internship experience during my third year.
Within animation?
Yeah, I worked in an agency. I worked on like motion graphic stuff.
Okay.
Mostly. So yeah, there's two sides in animation. You could either go for like motion graphic, advertising, things like that, where it's not really. It's more like marketing oriented,
Yeah.
or you could go in film, gaming, and like actually animate characters and like do VFX, things like that. You make movies, masterpiece. And I'd always wanted to be in that side,
Yeah.
but I feel like circumstance leads me to just stay in the marketing thing because it's, yeah, like you said, it's more lucrative.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I really wish that I could eventually end up on the creating masterpiece
Side
type
of
of
thing.
work. Yeah,
I hope
side
you
thing.
do.
I really wish, girl.
I
think I can.
Yeah.
I just need to take that leap. But
Yeah.
right now, you know what? To be fair, just finding the rhythm of like working, having money, it's already enough. Like I think I'm more comfortable with learning things slowly, step by step.
Yeah.
There's just something about it. Yeah, maybe I'm just so used to structure.
Yeah.
And as an artist, that's kind of like, like you're an artist, you should be spontaneous, blah, blah, blah. And I just hate that because like
Yeah.
I hate when they use that as an excuse, as like when they say, oh, you can come into work whenever you want.
It's such a huge stereotype with creatives,
Exactly.
Wake up when the spirit moves you.
Exactly.
And then put your pen on your paper when you find the no, girl.
No,
people have
no.
bills to pay.
Exactly. And
They
like,
just rather have it being paid from their art.
yes, exactly.
People have bills to pay.
I
What
know.
do you say?
Exactly. And I hate that there's this like kind of like bubble around artists and that we are perceived as not as professional as the others. Like, can you
Yeah.
just like give us an like 9 to 5, maybe like an actual, what do you call it, like structure?
Yeah. You would love to be within a creative structure, is what I'm getting.
Yeah, because I think that's actually what's good for the long run, like for sustainability.
Yeah.
Because we are humans, and I think taking care of our health is important. Having the time for like personal life is important,
Yeah.
and sometimes as a creative, because the lines are so blurred. With yeah, you can work anytime, like in the middle of the night, and
I
it's
hate
so
that.
it's
There
really
was
bad.
literally, there's this party I saw recently. Someone showed it to me, sent it to me, like, okay, I think you should go for this because all these like presenters are going to be there. And I'm like, two things. Yeah, it's a good opportunity, but so I'm going to wake up in the middle, like go for a party to work, to network. This is not even a networking event, but it's just the things you have to do at the end of the
Exactly.
day.
Yeah.
I'm not that I'm complaining, but I'm just like identifying what the structure is. I'm just identifying what it is. I think back to the article I did for my 1,000 word essay. I don't know the one you picked, but I picked the one, I think, work in the creative
Oh,
industries.
right.
That's the one I did. And basically in the article, like the sources I was using, one of them said that they interviewed people, and one of these guys was like, he knows that his career is suffering a little because he would rather much spend his private personal time with family as opposed to using that time to go to the bar for drinks.
Oh my God.
And it's literally what it is.
It's so sad.
It is.
It shouldn't be that way,
I
right?
know, but
I hate it as well.
it's what it is.
Exactly. And like, I did the topic of creativity in the creative industries.
Okay, how's
and
that?
there's a lot of articles talking about how they see creativity as something that's, you know, that comes naturally, and something that's so abstract that you can't really put a boundary on it. But like, yeah, you can. Like in brainstorming
Definitely.
sessions, you just cap it like 1 hour, 2 hour.
You know the thing,
Go.
I think the media is a very beautiful space. However, it feeds into a lot of these stereotypes. If you look at an artist in a movie, is a guy usually drinking a bottle of wine, then all of a sudden, I have this idea, get me my paintbrush.
Yeah.
And I'm
Exactly.
like, who does this?
There's
Who do you know that does this?
there. It's actually mentioned in one of the journals that I read. It's called the myth of creative genius. Like, that there's someone with like this wild amount of creativity in them that we need to like juice out. Is like, how do you put a structure to that? How do you make it, what do you call it, like accessible, like to actually make products out of it in a
Yeah.
healthy way? If that's how you perceive artists.
If that's how we're perceived,
Yeah,
exactly.
if that's how we are perceived, it's like insane, man. And like, sure, there are a couple people that are like that, like
I guess.
yeah, like creative geniuses, but it also takes them a while to get there, to actually have the platform to have people to listen to them.
Yeah,
Like, do you think Beyonce is Beyonce overnight?
exactly.
Like-
you think it's just, I have an idea.
Exactly. She trained her ass off ever since she was young.
Exactly.
That's why she's a
I like
great
how you're
artist.
referencing Beyonce.
Because I love her too, and
Yeah.
she's the perfect example.
In our class, that's the only that's our case study.
Yeah.
That's our case study, literally every 2 seconds. So like Beyonce.
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Funny thing, Beyonce actually,
Exactly. Beyonce.
yeah,
And then Beyonce.
Beyonce. It's so funny, and Wish is like going with it,
Yeah.
but
She loves it.
she loves it.
She loves
but
it.
to be fair, it's Beyonce. Come on,
Come on.
come on.
It's Beyonce.
Yeah, like it's the fact that they think that what we do is something that we're born with,
Yeah. And in as much as I believe to a very good extent that you kind of have it,
Yes.
you still need to sharpen that iron. I think you are born with it, but I think to a very large degree, you have to practice.
Exactly.
You have to work. Like you said, like Beyonce was a natural talent, is a natural talent. She knew how to sing from like a very young age. However, training,
Yep.
discipline,
Not everybody
consistency.
can put through what she put through.
Exactly.
Literally.
That's just what it is, literally. So
Yeah.
I want to go back a bit into, you said you finished uni 2020.
Yeah.
Then you were freelancing.
I was freelancing, and then I worked for a startup that didn't go well. There was winter, the
Yeah.
thing, and I got laid off. right
Damn.
after I got done with my probation, and I had like a nice talk with my supervisor. But he also got
Laid off as well.
laid off as well.
Oh no.
We had no idea it was happening.
That's crazy.
Not naming names. But,
Yeah, but you know who you
I'm
are.
bitter. You know who you are.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so why did you decide to come for masters?
Okay, so
Were you still chasing structure?
I mean, so I think that I've always had a dream of living abroad,
Okay.
living my own life,
Mhm.
figuring things out, meeting new people. And I feel like Indonesia, my country, it's somewhat a bit suffocating. It's my home,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's really small in terms of like the people that works in the creative sector. Everybody knows everyone already, and there's like, I don't know. I'm the type of person that is not really good at kind of like pretending, like networking. I don't really do well in that if I don't really find genuine connection with people.
Yeah.
I need to work on that, but I really didn't
At
like
this
it.
point, though, it's just not your thing. I hear that.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, if I don't vibe with them, why should I pretend to be interested in like working with them, etc.? Because I'm not the type of person that are able to separate the art with the artist kind of person. Like if I know this person is, oh my god, they have
A bad character.
bad
That's a very
character.
controversial conversation. I
Yeah.
mean, can you separate the art from the artist? That's
In
a
some
deep one.
ways.
To a certain degree, I think I can't. I don't think I can because
Yeah.
just knowing that, like, you know, yes, you make good music,
Mm.
but then this is who you are. This is what you do. This is
Yeah.
how you treat people.
Yeah.
And you want me to forget about that because you have good songs. I really like, to a certain degree, I really don't know how to do that.
Yeah,
I hear that.
exactly. So like, yeah, I've been involved with a lot of people. I mean, like I've talked to some, and like I've I've been working with this one person, one individual that's like highly respected. He
Okay.
has great portfolio talent, but like behind closed doors, how he treats people, it's like it's freaking horrible. Can I curse? I don't know.
You can.
It's fucking
fine.
horrible.
It is fucking horrible.
It's fucking horrible, and I'm like, and the fact that all these people that praises this person that's like, oh, I'm waiting for your art, they have no idea what's going on behind closed doors, and it's so sad. And I'm the type of person that when I sense that kind of thing, I kind of just
Yeah.
ditch it
Yeah.
immediately.
Just
I'm not the type of person that will just ignore it. I cannot. So I was like, you know what? I think I need to find a fresh, fresh start, and hopefully I can find people that kind of resonates with me a little better,
Yeah.
because it's kind of tiring. And also, I've always loved, like, I think I kind of express myself better in English sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I grew up in the internet, blah blah blah. And going to the UK was my top pick because it only takes like 1 year for a master's. And I love, like, the British culture is, I think it's more interesting. Like, they're really good at broadcasting. I love TV shows from the UK. I love Fleabag. There's a lot of things that I love that are made in the UK.
So it was like a no-brainer for you.
It was a no-brainer, but like I never really thought it could happen because it's expensive.
Yeah.
And I was trying for scholarships. I tried for like 3 times, but I didn't get it. And I almost didn't go because I'm like, please, I don't want my parents to pay for me again for something like this, because this is very like, it's optional.
Yeah.
I don't have to go.
You don't have to be
I don't.
here.
Yeah, but my mom was like, you know what? Take the chance, because I already got into work.
Yeah.
I already got the letter, and I already deferred it for like 1 year because I was still
So
trying.
you were meant to be here last year?
Yeah,
Oh
I was
my
meant to be here last year,
gosh.
but I was like, I want to still try for the scholarship thing, but I didn't get it. And my mom's like, just go, it's okay. And I'm like,
If you say so.
if you say it's I don't pay a single penny, but you know,
if that's what you want. Like, I mean,
yeah, I can pack now.
I mean, like, I can pack. It's my box has been packed.
Yeah. So, you know, okay, I'm going. But yeah, so far, I mean, for like, but the reason I actually take master's degree is because I have a good understanding of what it is to be an artist working in the creative industry. As an animator, motion designer, I literally do everything. So it's kind of hard to describe. I'm a visual designer, I would say. I think I have had the skills, but there's this side of creative industry, the business side, where money is actually from. Like when Vish told us about the value chain, and all the money is at the ends of all the
The
process, distribution, marketing, all that like black tie stuff
Yeah.
that artists are always kind of like being shielded from. I want to know that because I feel like artists deserve to know more about what they do and
And how they can get paid.
how they can get paid.
And then
fairly.
knowing their rights around getting paid. And
Exactly.
I think the biggest thing I've learned from doing this masters is that we're shielded, especially like in the music industry.
Yeah.
They are shielded a lot from the reality of what it is. They sell
Definitely.
this fallacy to you. Hey, cars, chains, money, what you want. Everything.
Yeah.
You're gonna see Beyonce. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, they don't really get paid. They don't own rights to their music, and I think
That is so sad.
it's incredibly sad. So I think, and with the creative industry, there is no. Last time I said it, there's no HR. There is no stand. There's no necessary like your next job opportunity could be in someone's living room. There is no particular structure.
There's no protection also.
Exactly. So it's easy to be manipulated. I don't even know if like musicians have unions. That would be such a cool idea.
They don't?
I don't think so. I think
like,
actors do, but I don't think musicians do.
Exactly.
How
I feel like
cool
it's
will
still
it be?
very.
Yeah.
It's such a volatile
Exactly.
industry right now.
Definitely.
Because like there's always a headline about something like Taylor Swift is suing Spotify. Like I feel like, oh my God, in this day and age, they are still figuring out what the fair pay should be. Like because like it's been going on for a while. Like
Yeah.
music streaming services has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
And with the technology, they should be able to find the right balance.
I think I'm very shocked with what streams equate to. You could see someone having like 1 million streams, but that doesn't really mean much.
Yeah.
Like when you equate it to money. And learning that has been very shocking.
Yeah, last week when you were talking about this.
Yeah.
Because, artists are basically they are sitting behind their contract with a record label, right? But the record label is the one that's gonna like that are responsible of making deals with the what do you call it? The policy. The one that gains the revenue, basically
Yeah.
the organizations that dictates how much money you make from your streams, etc. So we were debating on whether or not streams are considered a live performance every time artist does, and we were debating on probably because if it's a live performance, then artists should get a fair share every stream.
Yeah.
So it should be like 50-50 for them and the record label, but it's not how it is now.
Ideally, I'd even say 60-40.
60-40 artists.
Yeah. 60 for the artist, exactly.
Yeah.
Ideally, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it is their input. And I know
Exactly.
you are investing, but you are like, I want people to remember that these people are investing in these people. Why do you want to take all their money away? It's just a very crazy dynamic, like how people or how these giant industries capitalize off people's dreams.
Exactly.
People retire
It's so
because of
sad.
that. Like they just like they never want to go back because of what the industry actually gives.
Exactly. I think it stems from the idea that, oh my God, I do the hard work. I make the deals. I sign the papers. I shook some hands. You do your magical creative things, and that's exactly why I want to study, because I don't want people to dictate
exactly
how I should be getting my money from.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even like an artist that, I'm not really, I'm not a musician that relies on a record label to do these things, but I want to actually make a company that makes sure this doesn't happen.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
really want, because I think there's a bunch of creative people in Indonesia. We can really capitalize on our stories, our culture, and actually make something that's worth
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's worth sharing. And the thing about media is it's eternal. It lives forever. If we make an artwork, like your grandkids they are able to enjoy it. It's not only monetary value. To me, it's like history making, and I feel like there should be someone that takes care of it, especially in my country where it's not really something that's taken seriously. But yeah, I feel like I really want to build a company that employs artists fairly and make something that actually has meaning.
Yeah.
Etc. It's just like it feels like a pipe dream, but
Yeah.
like I feel like it's achievable. The
I'd say
more that I
achievable.
learn here, it's like it makes sense, like
Definitely. The more I
Yeah.
read about these things, it's like, it actually does make sense. And because we have these conversations in a non-academic space, when
Yeah.
you realize there's like a lot of research backing all these conversations we just have as creatives, it's like, wow, that's so cool.
It is. And like all the books that they make us read, they're actually they're interesting. Right, because
Yeah,
like you never really think of reading. You never thought of like reading about these types of things.
exactly,
But
exactly.
knowledge is key.
Knowledge is
Read
definitely
your
key.
books,
Yeah,
please.
definitely. Stay in school.
Stay in school.
Exactly.
Like even if you want to be an artist, stay in school. Like
Yeah, just get that little information.
don't let them discourage you by saying, why do you go to school and pay for this amount of money where you can learn from YouTube tutorials? Like, do it if you want to. Like,
Yeah,
I hate how it's so reduced like that. Like,
yeah, education has been reduced, but to a certain degree, like I want to say I understand, but at the same time, I'm very aware. Like I have a law degree. I'm very aware of the power of knowledge. Like
yeah,
I'm very. I think it's my proudest achievement having one. Just being able to. I feel like an intellectual. I know stuff. You know. I like
Yeah.
knowing stuff. Fun
Exactly.
fact, did you know? Like, do you remember one time when we were talking and I was like, did you know about this act? And you guys are like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so cool. I
knew that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. What would you describe your animation like? What would you describe your work as?
Like my style?
Your style.
I'm into oh my god, it's so hard to say. I'm into like colorful,
Okay.
fun, kind of almost like childlike type of
Okay.
vibe, but also experimental. So I don't really focus on children's kind of animation, but I think I strive for making ordinary things a little bit more special.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so like maybe if you do a campaign of like a skincare product, it shouldn't be just boring display of product. It could be reimaginated in like a whimsical way. I love whimsical stuff.
Okay.
Like weird things like that.
I do too.
Like kind of twisting what's ordinary into something a bit more than that. Yeah,
Will you
that's
show me some stuff after?
I actually have a show
You
reel.
wanna show me?
If you,
I would like to see it.
this is some of the works that I've done, but you know,
I want to see.
show reel. So like most of it is client work, not much like experimental stuff, but
Yeah.
I still try.
This is so cool. I see what you mean.
It was actually,
You did this?
yeah, that was my university final project. So that was experimental. This is an ad. This is for a product shoot. So yeah, I do a lot of campaign stuff. But I love doing fun things like that.
This is so cool. This is so fucking cool.
Really?
The first one is so cool.
Yeah, I really want to like direct and make my own animated short movie. It's my
Dream.
bucket list.
Yeah, is that like the final goal for you?
Yeah.
If you've done that, it's like, I don't need to do anything else again.
Yeah, I want to just submit one of my animated shorts to Cannes or something like that.
Ooh.
Or like any festival really. And I think being here opens a lot of doors for me to do that.
I believe so too.
Yeah, I love making stories and storyboards, and like the whole process of filmmaking is so fun.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that you're passionate about, that you know that it's close to home. I think there's like a magical thing to it.
I think so too.
And I should think about making money, but that's my dream.
You know the thing, I'm not even going to hold you. Sometimes when I think about my dreams, like money is such a last.
Exactly.
And I know that is not what it should be, because I would love to have money. I want to have good money, but it's like that's not the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of happiness.
That's true.
But then I know if I don't have money, I will not be happy either way.
But girl, I would rather be in the Ferrari, but with my dreams. But like, I mean,
ideally, I would love to have both. You know, why do I have to choose?
Yeah, but
why do we have to choose?
Exactly. And it's like, but I feel like because we're still young and we're exploring things, I feel like our mind should not really be about money
right
that
now.
much.
I think that's where I'm at. I remember when I started doing radio, and my mom kept telling me, okay, how do you capitalize off this? how do you capitalize off this? And
That's such a mom thing to say.
And I was like, I would love to tell you the answer to this question. Unfortunately, I do not know. I really did not know. I still do not know. But I know that eventually it could lead to something.
Exactly.
So
it's like you're investing on yourself.
exactly.
In a way. You're not sure, but like I feel like investing in yourself is always a good thing to do.
Think about your work as Exactly. Think about your work as investing. And that's how I pursue it, because I do know at the end of the day, I'm going to be very satisfied with where I'm going to be when I peak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I know that there are a lot of people struggling to make ends meet and might not have this mindset of like finding their dreams, finding their purpose. And I respect them completely.
1,000%.
If they live paycheck to paycheck to support themselves, by all means. But I feel like for some people that have access to all these things, we should be able to make more out of our situation.
Exactly.
So like finding what you love to do, building something from it, not be a follower. Like start something and provide for those people who are trying to make.
Exactly. I think my biggest people I respect the most are like all these artists that start from literally zero, nada, nothing.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people like that, and it's very crazy to me because you're like, wow, you mean to tell me like you were struggling to find food, but you still found it in your heart to like still pursue this, because at the beginning of pursuing a creative career, it's like, don't enter this for money. I mean, the money will come, but don't have that mindset from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to be so sad.
Exactly.
You're going to be so sad.
Because you would not see it. You would not see money in the beginning.
In the very beginning, especially the very beginning. It's a very humbling stage as well. So I think that's the biggest advice I'd give to anyone.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. Exactly. I feel like taking this master's also kind of would be a good like balancing. I don't know. It would bring better balance to my perspective, because then maybe so I have this passion. What can I do about it to capitalize from it? Properly.
Knowing how to eventually properly. Exactly. That's a good point. That's
yes.
a really good
and
point.
I feel like if people have the opportunity to do it, go like learn, pay for yourself, invest in yourself,
invest in your
buy
craft.
that course, learn about that thing that you really wanted to learn last week, do it, like take some time in your day and do it, because no one else is going to take care of these things other than you, like,
because a good amount of people already don't see the vision.
Yeah,
a good amount of people don't see the vision, so it's your responsibility to make sure the vision stays alive, because people will like literally let me not say no one will help you, but it's a lonely journey. That is so true, especially because people don't understand, like, why would you want to pursue a career in animation? Like, who do you know? And then you try to explain with those big examples like Pixar and Disney, but it's like, even to get there,
I know. I'm already at a point where I'm kind of tired of explaining what animators do.
I don't explain anymore about what I do.
I just say, like advertisement and stuff. I just say that because I don't like, especially when they ask not out of actual interest,
but out of like, you're doing what?
Yeah, like they're skeptical about it. I'm like,
you're doing what?
I don't care. I'm not mentioning your name at my Oscars, definitely. So you do not need to worry about it.
Yeah, you do not need to worry
about it. Exactly. I just don't want. Like as I grew older, I have become more selective over like the kind of people I spend my energy on.
Definitely.
Who I interact with. I just know. I just have this radar now that this person won't get the vision, and I would just feel small if I talk to them. Yeah. Because some people does that.
Some people definitely do that.
They make you feel small and like question yourself. And
and that's the last thing I'd ever want, especially pursuing this kind of.
It's already precarious in itself. Precarious in itself. Yeah, I do not need more of demon voices outside of my head.
Yeah, that's so real. Oh my god,
I got enough. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sitting with me.
Yeah, of course. It's been
really
so
appreciate
fun.
This.
Thank you, Kelechi.
Yeah.
I hope you got a good material.
I did. Definitely. Let's just hope the camera didn't stop filming. Now that would be scary. I would literally cry. That's literally sometimes when if you see it in my eyes, if I look like I'm lost in thought, that's the only thing I'm thinking about. Has the camera paused? Is the mic not working? That's literally But aside from that, this was lovely.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so
All
much.
right. See you Wednesday. Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
Wednesday
See you Wednesday, my love.
on Vicious Class. Yeah.
Yay.